After starting a new world, my first steps are to gather wood and build a simple house, at least for the time being. Now, at this point in the game, there are no weapons, besides only really 3 that you can do in pre-hard mode at this point. Now, the first weapon is the finch staff, which can be found in living trees. The second one is the flink staff, which can be farmed from flink's fur. Also can be used to make the flink's coat. The third one is the slime staff. Now, due to its incredibly low drop rate, I'm not even going to bother putting it here. And as for whips, we only have 2 options. Number 1, the leather whip, which is sold by the zoologist, and the snapthorn, which is the best whip in pre-hard mode, arguably. This is going to be the weapon that we are going to be using for the rest of the time, but since we cannot get it this early right now, since we don't have any gear to go farm hornets, the leather whip and the finch staff or the flink staff is going to have to do.
After barely killing a pinky, I feel pretty confident in this playthrough already. My first step is just to pretty much go into a cave and just try to get any type of accessories or any type of loot that I can. Maybe finding a weapon if I can. Luckily, in the first chest that I find gives me a bunch of throwing knives, which I'm going to be using for at least a majority of this time. Second one gives me a boomerang, but throwing knives are just way better. Feeling pretty confident, thinking I can take on the world already. Fuck!
I died. Predator said that. I died to a bomb. I went back down instead of waiting the night like I should have, just to pick up my gold, but decided to stay in the cave anyway. Instantly after that, I find my first life crystal, giving me an extra 20 HP.
Ah, fuck!
But then dying miserably after.
Shortly after, I get as much ore as I possibly can while I'm down here, finding a cloud in the bottle, and also finding a mace. It's okay. I go back home, get a spunker potion, and clear my inventory, and then try to get as much ore as I possibly can. Also, while I'm down here, I find the skull merchant, I buy a bunch of bone arrows, and then I buy some glow sticks, and then I head back to mining as much as I can. After returning home, I turned everything I have into bars, making myself a platinum helmet, a silver chainmail, making myself an iron pickaxe, and then an iron bow. After a bit, I place down some instant houses for my NPCs, and then I go back just to mine and pick up a little bit of chest, find myself a regeneration band, and a shark pit. Afterwards, I start making a graveyard farm trying to get Abigail. I didn't mention her before, but she's a very good summon that we can use later on, even early on right now, so just gonna be sitting there just for now. Afterwards, I go down to a living tree that I find, and find our first weapon, a finch staff. After that, I head back into a cave, finding my first pair of Hermes boots. Afterwards, going back home, not realizing the Cthulhu had spawned, I give my best attempt to fight him. So, he got me. I'm not even gonna lie to you. He got me. He got me off guard. I didn't have an arena or anything like that at all. I didn't have my whips or anything at all. I was stuck using the damn iron bow. But, Cthulhu, your hours are numbered. After making some cloth and making a bed, I head back to my graveyard, finally getting Abigail's flower. Now, I'm just gonna go off on a little tangent right here. Abigail is an extremely early summon that you can get, but she can actually lead you into hard mode, because she gets stronger and stronger with each summon. So in the beginning stages, she is somewhat kind of weak, but she is ridiculous as a weapon. She can be used all the way till endgame even in some situations. Her range gets bigger, her damage gets higher the more you summon her. It's just in the early game you can't get as much summons as that, so she's considered okay. But even at that, she can carry you through pre-hard mode. After exploring for a bit, the zoologist finally arrives, giving us an opportunity to get our very first whip of the game, the leather whip. After heading to the snow biome to farm some flink's fur. Yeah, flink's fur. To make the flink's staff and the flink's coat. After heading home, I was ambushed by the Eye of Cthulhu. But this time, we were ready for it. With Eye of Cthulhu finally defeated, I make myself the Sphinx coat, and then I start heading to the jungle to get some hornets and vines to make ourselves the Snapthorn, which is the weapon that we're going to be using at least for a majority of this time now. After making the Snapthorn, which has a pretty high base attack, at least for pre-iron mode, and 6 summon tag damage, I make myself the jungle helmet and the jungle pets. Now these don't specifically have anything good for summoner, they're just a nice little stat stick, having more defense than the other ones. Since slime was falling from the sky, I took this as my chance to beat King Slime to test out my new gear and see how strong I was. Almost dying a couple times in the process, so I don't know how. After defeating King Slime, I head back to the jungle to get a Pharaoh Claw. The Pharaoh Claw is a very good accessory for summoners as it increases our whip speed by 22%. This also goes for melees, but at least for us it's only going to be our whip. That leaves us with only one more thing to do at least, and that is to kill the Brain of Cthulhu. After killing Brain of Cthulhu, I decided to kill another one while I'm down there since I have all my buffs and everything all up, which I killed it with ease. After Brain of Cthulhu is dead, it allows us to make Obsidian Armor. Obsidian Armor is the best free hard mode summoner gear you can get. It increases our whip length, our whip damage, and our minion damage. Now, Bee Armor could be an alternative to this, but for this playthrough, I will be using the Obsidian Armor. Speaking of bees, the Queen Bee is our next boss on the list. The Queen Bee gives us access to the Witch Doctor, which is a very, very important NPC that we need because it allows us to make Flask. Flask gives us way more opportunities on our debuff and damage overall, and he will sell later stuff in hard mode that we will need. After this, we will head for Skeletron.
After heading to the jungle, I found a queen beehive pretty close to the entrance of the jungle, so I took this as my opportunity to clear out this entire area for both plantera and for the queen bee right now. Now I'm just gonna skip this entire process because this took a while. Shortly after, we get invaded by the Goblin army. This is a good thing because we can finally get the Goblin Tinkerer, who sells us the rocket boots, which will add to our mobility and will allow us to combine accessories. After a straight hour of splunkering, I finally find this guy, dude. After crafting Frostbark boots, I go down and mine some Hellstone to create the imp stuff. Afterwards, I fight the Old One's army, using Hoiks to beat it with ease, giving me the Squire's shield. Then, I head to fight Skeletron. After beating Skeletron, I don't bother to go into the dungeon since there's not that many drops we can get from there. I head straight to Wall of Flesh and die many times because of this damn laser move right here. This move is hot garbage. But in the end, like everything, we always prevail. I ended up getting a little more buffs this time, using ale instead. And then I made myself an Inferno Potion, which really helps against the Hungries. So then I was finally able to beat him.
After finally killing the wall of flesh, I am officially in hard mode. I didn't get anything good from its drops, but that's okay. I got a clockwork assault rifle, so not really that good. I was really hoping to get the firecracker, but we'll just have to kill him again to try to get that. That is a very good whip that we will be using. It stacks very well with a lot of whips, even in the end game. On a quest to get it, I tried my hardest to kill this thing to get this firecracker, but time after time, I die and I die. This laser move is absolute dog water. I don't know what I was doing wrong, but I just, for the life of me, I could not avoid this move. After finally killing it, after I don't know how many tries, I was unfortunate in not getting the damn firecracker. I got another clockwork assault rifle, which means I have to do it again. After more attempts that I try, I finally get the firecracker. Unlucky though, didn't get the summoner emblem, but firecracker's enough to help me start beating it again, so I give more attempts, which I'm not gonna show. After doing your usual hard mode activities when you start, I go mine a bunch of the new ore you can get myself a better pickaxe, and then I get the adamantium forge. Right now we have two things to do on our bucket list. Number one, defeat Queen Slime for the blade staff and the slime mount. And second, which is create spider armor, which is the earliest pre-hard mode armor you can get. It's also one of the easiest.
Now, in that last clip, I mentioned the spider armor that was on our bucket list, but I did forget to add that we did end up getting the spider armor anyway before all the Wall of Flesh fights, so I just forgot to add it in. If you're wondering why I have it on during these other Wall of Flesh fights, it's because after I beat Wall of Flesh, I instantly went to go get the spider armor to try to help me beat it faster.
After making my first pair of wings, I head off to go fight Queen Slime. It was at this moment that I realized why everyone hates this boss fight. The amount of projectiles that her slimes throw is just ridiculous, alongside with her giving just this wave of just projectiles thrown at you every couple seconds. After dying to Queen Slime, it starts raining, as I take this as my big opportunity to go find an ice core. An ice core allows us to make the Cool Whip.
The Cool Whip paired with the Firecracker is a very, very good early pre-hard mode combo because of its high base attack, fire attack, and frost attack that you can trigger every 2 seconds, allowing this a very powerful combo for whip stacking. After creating the Cool Whip, I'm feeling pretty confident, and I give another attempt at the Queen Slime. Unfortunately, I'm caught by one of her random minions that she throws, and I die again. After theory crafting some strategies to fight her, aka looking it up on YouTube, there's no way I can possibly die again. I know, well, now stay with me now. This is the attempt right here. This is the actual. Now this one's the actual attempt. No, it's not. I lied to you. After a very long fight, I finally get the upper hand on her, and I finally get my very first Queen Slime kill.
Now I don't have to worry about getting a weapon. Never mind, I got nothing. I actually got nothing. My first attempt that took me so long, I get nothing. I killed her again, and to my luck, I also got nothing. The same thing I got the first time. So I had to kill her again. Yay. But lucky, I kind of figured out a little pattern, so the next fight wasn't that difficult. After killing her one more time, I was lucky enough to get the blade staff, which is a huge weapon now that will allow me to take on the Dreadnautilis for the Sanguine Staff. Lucky for me, the Sanguine Staff changed its drop rate. It's now a guaranteed drop rate in expert mode, and still high in the same rate in master mode. After using a bloody tear to start a blood moon, I head off to try to kill the Dreadnautilis. Unfortunately, his drop rate is super low when it comes to fishing if you don't have a chum caster, so the entire night I got nothing. But the next fight, I was lucky enough to go against him. After finally getting a Dreadnautilis to spawn, and almost dying in the process, I am able to take him down with ease with the blade staff, giving me the Sanguine Staff. Now, I cannot phrase this as much. The Sanguine Staff is an unbelievable weapon that people will use, and you can use all the way through Moonlord. For this playthrough, we're not going to be using it all the way to Moonlord, but with its insane tracking, it did get nerfed not in the future, it got nerfed in the past for its damage, but it's still an incredible weapon. It's such a preference thing whether you choose the blade staff or the sanguine staff because they're just such on equal terms, but the one thing that the sanguine staff has over it is that its tracking is amazing, making it better for fights like Duke Fishron. Speaking of Duke Fishron, first thing I do after this is I head straight towards the glowing mushroom biome to get truffle worms. This is going to be the Duke Fishron fight that everyone has been waiting for. This is a pre-mech. No mech bosses were fought. This is pre-golem, pre-everything equipment you can get. Just Slime Queen killed and a sanguine staff is used only. Now before the fight, I'm going to emphasize if anybody is struggling on this fight is very doable with any class pre-mech. The only thing you really need is the Slime Queen mount. The Slime Queen mount helps tremendously in this fight. Skeletron defeated pre-mech. This gives us an opportunity to get the Tempest Staff if we're lucky, but instead we got the fishron wings, which are the best wings in the game behind Betsy's wings. They have the longest flight time and they have amazing acceleration. For this playthrough I will not be fighting it again to get this Tempest Staff because it's just okay. The only thing left to do now is to fight the mech bosses and then Plantera and then Empress of Light. Montage incoming! With the mech bosses and Plantera finally defeated, this allows us to go to the dungeon to get ectoplasm to start the Pumpkin Moon event. Pumpkin Moon event gives us the Necromancer scroll, which allows us to get more summons and summon damage. You can also make a second one to get the, I think it's called the Scarab scroll, which gives us another minion slot and more damage. That's what we're going to be farming. It also gives us the Dark Harvest, which is a very good whip that we'll be using, has good range, and it gives us stack speed. After this, Empress of Light. After killing Empress of Light in nighttime and getting the Kaleidoscope, also getting the Dark Whip, and Spooky Armor from the Pumpkin Moon event, it's now time that we fight Empress of Light in the daytime. After getting Empress of Light and Daytime defeated, this gives us the Terra Prisma, the best summon weapon in the game. This means everything else is easy. And with that, that includes my entire Terraria Summoner playthrough, summed up in about under 30 minutes. Actually, wait, with editing and stuff, this will be over 30 minutes. But I just want to thank anybody who got to the end of this video. If you like this type of content, please consider liking and subscribing. I am going to be doing way more stuff like this on other games too, not just Terraria. I have other games planned that I want to do this entire type of sequencing for, and I will be definitely putting more effort into other ones. I know this one had some kind of wonky roller coasters on the editing and stuff like that, but I'll get better. I'll get better. Now, obviously, I just want to have Satire. Summoner is not easy. It's a hard class. I just wanted to test myself to see if I can get far on it, which I think I did pretty okay. Anyways, that's about it. See ya.